All right, so let's get started right away. So we are going to look at uh, developing a plugin from scratch, and the plugin we are going to build will help WordPress website owners to store notes as quick as possible. The task we have at hand is to develop a simple plugin which can help administrators to keep notes in WordPress for free. Our objectives, or what we want to achieve in this session, are add a menu item called admin notes to the admin menu in WordPress. When the admin notes is clicked, the form for adding a note and a list of previous notes should be loaded for view. Number 3, when save note is clicked, a new note should be added to the WordPress database. The user shouldn't add an empty or blank note. At the end of this session, you should be able to add a custom menu item to the WordPress admin dashboard, add a custom page to WordPress admin, clean and save user input to the WordPress database or options table, and retrieve data from the WordPress database. What will you learn? In this session, you will learn to set up a staging environment on InstaWP, develop a functional WordPress plugin from scratch, understand the WordPress directory structure, use WordPress inbuilt functions such as current user can, sanitize text area field, add menu page, update option, get option, add action, that make the life of a professional WordPress developer easier. And what are you required to have, or what are the prerequisites for you to thrive in this session today? 1, you must have a working knowledge of PHP, HTML, and CSS. You should have a working installation or environment of WordPress. Usually you can set that up local on your computer on local WP, MAMP, WAMP, and XAMPP, or anything else. But the easiest and fastest way that I recommend is by spinning up a WordPress staging environment on instawp.com in 2 minutes, and it's for free. So let's get started with that. So InstaWP looks like this. If you go to instawp.com, if you are new, click try for free. If you're a returning user, you click login. So if I click login, it's going to take me to the dashboard, and in the dashboard I can click here to create a new website, this button where you see the cursor, or this one over here. So I'll click add new, and I can pick from the configurations that are available. I can choose the default, I can click to add a new configuration, I can choose a configuration which supports multi-sites, and so on and so forth. So for me, I'll go with the default. That's a WordPress that does not have many other things. Then here I'll enter a site name that I might want. For example, I'll say WP admin notes. That's the name I've called my website. And here I choose the PHP version, and here I choose the WordPress version, which I'll choose 6.2. Then this I'll leave it to US because I would have to upgrade. This is not a free feature. The reserve site is not a free feature because usually this website you build stays on InstaWP servers for only 48 hours unless you pay for it or transfer it away. So I'll click create a site, and the site will be created in this is a full WordPress installation or staging environment. It will be created in just a couple of seconds, like you can see. And then, yeah, you can see, then I'll click here on this icon to auto login. So what happens is that it has completed creating the website on this URL. These are the login details, but I don't have to suffer with those login details. I can just click auto login here and it will open my new site in a new tab. This really comes in handy if you don't have MAMP or XAMPP or whatever installed on your computer, and it can help you to follow along very fast as opposed to you struggling to create the developer environment on your machine. It can also come in handy if you are using machines like weak machines, where you don't want to install a lot of apps, or even computers where you don't have administrator privileges. So instead, since I know that I've logged in, all I'm going to do is to go back here on the tab where they were showing me my WordPress details. Then I'll click code editor. Mr. WP will open a code editor for this particular site, and I can go ahead and edit the site. You can see here it is. Now let's learn about the WordPress structure. Let's learn about the WordPress directory structure, which is this is the root. So the way WordPress saved is that WordPress has files and the database, but the files are stored in any named directory, and inside that directory you find 3 other directories which are WP admin, WP content, WP includes. Along those you find other files like the htaccess, which handles search engine friendly URLs, index.php, which is the entry point for the entire WordPress, and accompanying files, especially the WP config, which is very, very important that everyone who works with WordPress should learn about. But today our interest is WP content directory, where we find subdirectories like plugins, themes, uploads, and those 3. Then from these 3, since we are going to build a plugin, we want the plugins. Okay, we want the plugins directory. And allow me to take you back to the WordPress dashboard. If I click plugins, the page for displaying plugins shows up. Now, since we loaded a blank WordPress site or staging environment, there isn't any plugin. All right. So what we are going to do is to go to our editor here, and we shall right-click that area and click new folder. Then we want to create a file, a directory, which is called WP admin notes plugin. Then we shall give it the name a short name WPANP, just like that. And okay, the reason we do this, excuse me, looks I can't expand, but okay, I could scroll there. So the reason we do this is because we want to come up with the uniquest directory name as possible in case we submit our plugin to the WordPress repository. It's part of the requirements. Now we click the name of the directory we've created to expand it. After clicking it, we can click file, we can click file, then new file, and here we can create a file name, and I'll name that file plugin.php, and it's inside WP admin notes plugin directory. So now we can start coding. Before we code anything in this plugin file, we can go back to the WordPress dashboard, reload the plugins area, and you'll see nothing, because WordPress requires us to add a few things, to it, to the plugin. And these things are simple. Since it's a PHP file, I don't know if you're able to see. I'll try to zoom in. Just I'll try to zoom in. I think I can use command and yes, zoom in like that, and then we can add PHP comments here, and these PHP comments are going to describe the plugin so that WordPress can understand it. The way we write these comments is that it's a key pair kind of value thing, whereby we write the key name, which is plugin name, and we put a full colon, then we write the actual value, which is WP admin not plugin, just like that. So this will be the plugin name, and we can stop at that for now. Then what we can do here, I believe our file is saved, but if it's not, we can still go here, click file, then save. It will be saved. Okay, now we can go over here, reload, and we have our plugin here. We can even activate it. All it doesn't have are the description, the plugin URL. Let's try to add another plugin just to show you an example. I'm going to add a plugin called let me see, which plugin can I add? I wanted to add a simple plugin which won't take much time, but I've forgotten its name. Okay, let me add contact form 7 and I show you something. Alright, so I'll go back after installing it. You can see that contact form 7 has more details compared to our plugin. It has a description, just another contact form plugin, simple but flexible. It has the version number, it has the developer and the view details link, which can show more details about the plugin. So that's how we want our plugin to be. And how we do that is by adding more options here. For example, we can add the version number, which is 0.01, and then we can add the author. If you are following along, feel free to put your name. I've put mine, and then here we can say author URI, so that they can link your name to your website. Okay, like that. So that's my website, davidovug.com. Now I don't know if InstaWP saves these our changes automatically, but so to test that, I'll go to the dashboard, I'll refresh, and it looks like they don't save them automatically. So I'll go back over here and click save. Then I'll come back to the dashboard and refresh. Yes, you can see that the version and the author have been added. Now to add a description, it's very simple. You just write a tag description or a comment description, a simple notes plugin, WordPress notes plugin. So I'll go ahead and save. Yeah, this is the only thing that I find to be a little bit troubling, but it's still okay for those who want to save manually. Yeah, that's the description. If I had submitted this plugin to the repository, that's when I would be able to add the details. But since I'm not submitting and I've not yet developed the content for it, so I won't add that. But that's how you do it. Now, what we are going to do to see if our plugin won't break this website is by clicking activate. And yeah, the website is working, because if it wasn't working, we wouldn't see. You can see this is an active plugin because down here it has the activate. Now, when I was introducing you, we said that this plugin should add something to this admin menu, which reads which would read admin notes. but we don't see it. So let's go ahead and write the code. So how add a new add a new menu item to WordPress admin dashboard. Okay. Yeah, so what we are going to do with this is we shall write a function. That's why we said that someone needs to know some PHP, and so we shall write a function called admin notes menu. And in this function, we are in the body of this function, we are going to use a WordPress function called admin menu. Here it is on this URL. But if you are watching this video on YouTube, this link over here has been added in the description, so you don't worry how to get it. If you want to get it, if you don't want to go through the links, you can go to developer.wordpress.org, then search for the function add menu page. So on this documentation, you can see that the function has a description, parameters, and return value, more information here, and even examples. But we won't go through all of that. I'll just take you through this signature, which shows that the function reads as add menu page. It has the first parameter page title, the second parameter menu title, the third parameter capability, the fourth parameter menu slug, the fifth is callback, which can be empty, the sixth is the icon URL, and the fourth is the position, which accepts an integer or a float, and this function returns a string. So that's it's whatever. To read more, go to those links and you can see down here. So let's go ahead and use it. So we shall write here add the menu page, and we said the first argument is for the page title, which is, so we shall call it admin notes. Then the second one is admin notes still. This is for the menu title, which appears here, but the page title appears, for example, if I click this one, this is the page title, this one over here. So okay, let's go ahead, and also here you see at the tab. All right, let's go ahead, and the other is the capabilities. I mean, the person who is supposed to see this menu item, what capabilities should they have? Since this is for admins, we can use manage options. You can read more about WordPress capabilities on the WordPress developer website. So admin notes is the slug. Slug is this area. If we go to, if I click this one, slug would be this. So our plugin, or this one here, WP admin, is a slug for the admin dashboard of WordPress. So our plugin must also have a slug. Okay, for example, if I go and activate, let me show another example about the slug. If I activate contact form 7 and then I click contact form 7, this one over here is a slug in that case. All right, let's continue with ours. Ours will have admin notes. It can even have admin notes. Then the other WP, what the name we added on this short form we added on the folder name, which is WPANP. Then we can go ahead and add more information, like for example the function that is supposed to be the callback or the callable, which is admin. I'll call it admin notes page. Yeah, I like to call it that. And then this should be good to get us started. But if we save, we shall not see anything as of now. Let's go back and we click dashboard. then you can see that we are not seeing the admin menu as much as our plugin is activated, simply because there is something else we are supposed to do. Something else we are supposed to do is called the action, or a hook. WordPress has two hooks. Okay, it's this hook will attach the admin notes menu function to WordPress. Okay, so hooks are either for modifying the output of WordPress inbuilt functions, or they can also be for attaching new things to WordPress. So I'll write this, and hooks taken. If you go here to this one here, you can see that add action adds a callback function to an action hook. So in that case, the callback function is this one, admin notes menu. And then if we go back, it shows you that you have to have a string, which is the hook name, the callable, the priority, which is option, but by default it's 10, and accepted arguments. And this function returns a boolean true. So if we go back, we know that I already know the action, the hook name I want to attach our callback to, which is admin menu. But you can read about those hooks, to learn. WordPress has a lot of hooks. That's why it's extendable. That's why people can build plugins for it. So the one we want is this. Okay, now this is where having a staging environment is brilliant. You are going to see what is going to happen. If I reload here, we are supposed to see the admin notes, which is here, down here. Okay, so if we change the priority, of course, if we change the position, like if we come over here to here, this page here, which shows that the last parameter is for the position. If we change the position, for example, if we go read here, they show us that these are the different positions of WordPress menu items. So if we go and change, we can, for example, we can put 10. Let's go and do that. We can put 10, but we can't just put 10 anywhere, because there's an argument or a parameter that comes before the position, which is the icon URL. So we shall just put an empty string here and then specify the position as 10. Then we shall save, and if we reload, you see where admin notes is now. It's after the media, because if you come back here, you can see that they show you that media is on number 10. So what you add, if it shares the number with the WordPress admin menu, yours will appear later. Yeah, so that's it. And the default icon is the settings or the gear. You can change that by going to, like, you can put in Google WordPress WP admin icons, something like that, and you land to the website called dash icons, and here you find. So if I want notes, do they have it? They don't. But do they have book? Yes, they have book. So I can use the book here, and how you use it is by saying dash admin then something. So for example, here you see dash icons products. So if I want, I will just go, if I want to use the book, I'll just go and say where here, I'll just say dash icons book. I expect that to work. if you want your custom icon, just upload it in this directory and specify the path here, but I won't demonstrate that for the interest of time. So I've saved that. Let's go back and see. You can see that the icon has changed. All right, now when we click admin notes, you see this, there has been a critical error in this website. So what is the error? Though it has not broken the website, we are lucky, but there's an error. The reason there is an error is that here there is a here there is a callable we specified, which is admin notes page, but we've not yet developed it. So this is the reason we have a problem. To be sure, you can go over here to WordPress WP config, open it, scroll down and find WP debug false and turn it to true, so that WordPress can show you the technical errors. Of course, you have to turn it off if your website is in production, but since ours is not in production, we can turn it on and we see more details. That's it. It is telling us uncalled type error, call user func array must be a valid callback function, admin notes page not found, or invalid function name. All right, so now we shall go ahead and create that function name in here. Where are we going to create it? We shall create it before the action. I usually like to create everything before the action hook, so that the action hook comes later. So I'll create function and we called it admin notes page. Okay, notes page. Just like that, we can leave it as blank as that. We save and we see if it takes away the error. Okay, the error has been taken away. We are now seeing a blank page because we've not actually implemented the excuse me, we've not actually implemented the function this. So let's implement it. And we said that this plugin of ours should only be accessible to users who are administrators or who have the capability of managing options. Good. All right, let's go ahead. So now what we are going to do is we are going to write if not current. So if the current user cannot manage options, we shall do something. If you go, I added the description of current user can here. It returns whether the current user has the specified capability. You can see that. So you can read more about it. I added the description. I added its link in the YouTube description. So we shall say return, because we don't want to really bother people. We can say return out of the function, but we want to show something if that's the case. And what we want to show, we are going to write it in HTML tags. So I've closed the PHP here so that I can open the HTML tags. So all right, I'll write the HTML tag here, which says it's a paragraph and it reads access denied. You need admin privileges. Yeah, just that. And if we don't have any mistake, we should be good to go. I think we have a mistake somewhere. We are specifying 2 closing brackets, I think. Yeah, let's save and go back. So I have saved, reload over here. Oh, so unclose the bracket on line 16. So this is why I like the I like the staging environment. I'm not worried of anything. So because it has the code editor which is outside WordPress, so whenever WordPress crashes, I have where to access it and edit it. Many times than not, we've suffered whereby you were blacked out of WordPress. So this thing says that, okay, yeah, I think I now know why. This is the problem. Problem is here. I hadn't put this bracket which closes the if. So this one over here closes the function. So I'll save and then we can reload. Yeah, we are good. We don't have errors, though we are not showing anything. We are not showing anything because the only user we have is the admin user. All right, let's proceed and now start to implement code. So after the if statement, we can now start implementing the code that the user must see. And how are we going to do that? We shall put a div. I'm going to close PHP here so that I don't like to use the echo statements that much. People might be wondering why. I just want HTML to be separated from PHP. So I close PHP and then write HTML here. The HTML I'm going to write here is div, and then I'll write a heading, maybe h3, which says add a new note. Sorry about my spelling. And then below it, I'll write a form. I assume that you know the form, the HTML, and you understand forms, so I won't be explaining what this is all about. Yes, but then I'll add some things like, okay. Yeah, so here I'm just adding HTML forms, like now the form fields, like the text area. So here, let me add this submit button. I think I'll just use the button. I'll give it a name. It's important, you know why, but yeah, I'm not supposed to explain quite a lot, so I'll say I'll give it the name, submit admin notes, and then yeah, then I'll give it a value which is equals to save note, and then yeah, stop it at that. I think it doesn't need a value here. I beg your pardon. So yeah, I think this is how it should be. Then yeah, let me save this and we see what we have so far. Okay, and we go over here, reload. Yeah, that's what we have so far. Okay, if we do anything, of course the page will reload, but we won't see there's nothing that will happen because we've not yet told WordPress to actually work with the data that is entered in this form. Before I show you that, I would like to remind you about the slug. You remember in the here where this thing over here that I spoke about as the slug, it's appearing right here. okay, in the URL, and that's what happens. Then the page title is appearing here and the menu title is appearing here. All right, let's proceed. Now we are going to implement the functionality. Okay, so now that we've added the form that the user can use to enter data, we can now up here we can implement the functionality, and the functionality is for picking the data from the form and take it to the WordPress database. So what are we going to do here? It's very, very simple. We are going to create a variable called notes equals to get option. For you to learn about option, the function is here. It takes in a string option and another mixed default value, and it returns mixed. You can read the description and learn how to use it. Yes, so for me the option I want to deal with is admin notes. That's the option that I'll be dealing with. You will see how that option is added to the WordPress database. Then after getting the option, I want to check whether there are some things in that option by checking whether the option is an array, is not an array. Okay, and if it's not an array, I'm going to do something. If it's not an array, I'll create the array by just saying, okay, instead of using the square brackets, I'll use array like that. So I'll initialize it with an empty array. Then afterwards, I have to check whether someone has actually submitted the form. And how will I do that? I will check whether this button over here has been clicked, and I only do that by checking whether on the post it's part of the posted data. So yes, so I use the iSet function and specify is a set, I mean. So is a set, this will be considered a variable. So if it is set, then I'll proceed to process more data. Now if it's set, I'll proceed and get a note from the form. The note, I'll get it as post. Then I'll specify this name here on the text area, which is admin note WPANP, just like that. But this is not safe, okay? Because someone can type any code and perform a dangerous thing on your WordPress website or on their website. So you need to make sure you clean this. So I would leave this one over here. I'll write a comment that not safe. Okay, and what we shall do, we shall duplicate the line and use it and reuse it. How? We shall specify a function WordPress exposes to us called text area, sanitize text area field. That function, the description is here. You can read sanitize as a multi-line string from user input or from the database. So it can come in handy, and I just need to remove this, then do that. Now this cleans, and you know that whatever is stored in this variable is safe to use. Now after that, I'll attach this note to the variable we created here, which is either an empty array or an array of notes that we would have saved already. So I would say notes and just put square brackets to mean that at the end of the array, add a note. The note that is being added is this one here. You can also use merge, array merge. You can use array push, whatever you want, but I find this a little bit faster. Now, WordPress has another option, another function that is important, which will pick our notes and save them. So what will happen is that we shall specify the option name, which is admin notes. You remember here we got its value. Now here we are updating its value. It should be update option, then admin notes. Now the value that is going to go there are the notes. All right. You can still read about that here. Update option. They say updates the value of an option that was already added. So that's it. And I think this is good to go. But we cannot just go like that. We can say, what does the update option return? It returns a boolean. And if we go here, it says true if the values was updated, false elsewhere. So what we can do here is simple. Since it returns something, whatever it returns, we can store it in a variable. We can call it result and say if result, this means if the result is true, say something. So what it's going to say, I'll put it in the paragraph here, P, and then I'll say not saved successfully. Okay, that I'll do that. Of course, I have to open a new PHP. Whenever you close the PHP, don't forget to open it. All right, now someone might be wondering, how about the else? Yes, we can also do the else by putting here else, and of course close PHP, then open PHP again here, so that we can copy this. We can specify a paragraph. I'll just copy this, go here, paste, then remove this thing. Now here I'll say not saved. Sorry, not saved. All right, now let's test this out. Let's test this out, and you see, I want to move this a bit for proper indentation, and this, and then I want to put this over here. Yeah, I think that is okay. So I'll go ahead and save. Then we wait for the moment of truth. I'll reload this. If we don't have any, yeah, we don't have any error so far. So I'll type my note. This is the first note. Save. Not saved successfully. Wow, this is good. That's how fast it was. But then we have a challenge. And what challenge do we have? It's not a challenge we have, but it's a task we are left to do. The task is simple. We actually need to display the previous notes on the web page, because we said that when you click admin notes, you should be able to see the previous notes and the form which allows you to add a new note. So let's go and see how we shall do that. Now, the new notes, we shall display them below the form. We shall the previous notes, we shall display them below the form around here. And what we are going to do is very simple. After the form here, in the PHP tag, we are going to just, you remember we have a variable notes here, up here. We have a variable notes, and we've gotten the notes from the database using the get option function. So now we are going to utilize that, and what we shall do is very simple. We can check whether the notes are empty or not. If they are not empty, we can go ahead and do something. So we can say if count notes, then we can proceed and do something. All right, can proceed and do something, and if else, we can also do something. So else is what I'll start with. So I'll close PHP there and open PHP here. I know this might be a confusing programming convention, but especially if you've worked with PHP before, but I love it. Then I'll say add notes not found. Okay, add some notes. All right, so if I save this, if I save it, we reload. We don't see it because we already have a note that we've added. So now here is where we are supposed to do something, and what we are going to do is very simple. We shall close PHP there and open PHP down here. Then I will actually close this PHP on the same line to make life a little bit easier, and even this else, I'll put it on its line like that. Hope that is readable. Yes, because readable code is nice. So we shall write a heading here. It might be heading 3, notes, or your notes. So there I can even do this. I can even write a PHP here, then I can echo the count of the notes. Yes, if you don't know how to echo with this, you would have said PHP echo, but this is a shortcut for it. All right, so this one needs to be on the same line. I don't know, yeah, something like that. Then down here we can do what? I think you guessed it right, start a table, and then the table, we can add a table row for the heading and the table. So we can write t-head, t-body, and t-footer, or foot, t-foot, just like that. Then in the table here, head, we can say I think we don't need the head actually and the footer, because these ones, okay, let's do it. Title, we can just write a table row, which is a tr, and then th, which will be, but our notes don't have titles, so this is just for time wastage. So I will remove the table head, table footer, and then I'll go over to implementing the PHP that must pull the information. So we shall use the for each to loop the notes and get a single note by saying for each notes as note, then end for each here. Yes, you can also use the brackets. Then I'll put this on this line. I'll close the PHP here. Yes, and I'll open a PHP here to just end for each. Then I will write a tr, and after the tr I can write the td, which is going to hold our data, and the data it's going to hold is actually the note, so it will output the note. Okay, right, so this should echo out. I'll put this in brackets here, put this in brackets, circle brackets. You'll see the number of the notes will appear in brackets. Now this one, I think we are good to go. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I think we are good to go. So I'll save. Yeah, we've come from far. If you are still watching, thank you. And if you are new, yeah, just subscribe to the channel. That will be very helpful to me. So we have an error, not undefined variable note. And where is it coming from? It's coming from here. I have a mistake. I wrote notes as notes. It should be notes as note. Then the variable will be defined. All right, let's proceed. And you can see the number already here, 1. So if we, yeah, the first note is here. Wonderful. So now what is left is let's add another note before. Actually, let's just add another note before anything. So how are we gonna do that? We are going to type here, this is the second note, and then save. Yeah, the second note is down here. So we can even rearrange our notes if we want. One of the tasks you can do is to sort them, or you can loop them in descending order. If you want to, you can to sort. I think you can use the array sort, and then it will sort the things. But since you know that this is an array of indexes, you can also use another loop, instead of doing for each, you can do for, and you count. You can say for, then you say I equals what? I equals maybe the count of notes. Okay, the count of notes, something like that. And then you say if I greater than 0, greater or equal to 0, then do what? Then I minus minus, so this one goes away. And now that means that you have to say notes I. Okay, notes I. So now it echoes out every note that is at I. And here you would have to end for, not end for each. Let's see if that, sorry about that. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that's saved, and then we can load and define the key array e2. So yeah, how I think it's how I did not give it a right. Let me see here. I'm saying equals to this, then greater or equal to 0, I minus minus. So this should be greater than 0, I think. Then I can save and equal. Oops, no, undefined array key 2. Okay. So the minus minus for I equals to this, or probably I need to keep the count in a certain variable. So I'll say num of notes equals to this. So number of notes will be 2. Now if it's 2 here, the number of nodes equals 2, so 2 is less than, yeah, I see now where I have the problem, because the index, so I have to do it in a way that this one over here has to be, have to put it in a bracket, then -1, okay, -1, so that when it's starting, it does not count, it does not start from the how am I supposed to say it, so that it does not start from the from array, from nodes 2, you know. I don't want it to start from here. I don't want it to start from nodes 2, because if it starts from there, it won't find, since you know how array indexes work. If we have 2 nodes, one is on that, and then another one is on nodes 1. Those are 2 nodes. That's why it was complaining. So now I can go back, and I did this to just reorder the way the nodes appear. All right, so let's go and see, reload. Yeah, so we have the first note at the top, the last note or the latest note at the top, and the oldest, we have it below. So basically that's how you would build the notes plugin and be able to save your notes in WordPress, or give it to other people to save their notes. You can beautify it by adding CSS. For example, I can add some CSS here at the, I can put some CSS here, or even I think I can put it around here. Okay, can put it around here, so this one goes into its own PHP tag. Then I can write some CSS style here. Okay, and yeah, so for example, I can, or actually the best option for this case is not to add this. The best case is to copy what WordPress has. Okay, oh, why does it delete everything? Okay, all right, so the best thing to do is simply to use WordPress classes. For example, if this is an error, we can go to WordPress and like the dashboard here, and start copying some things. For example, let me see. Or let's go to Google and do WP error CSS error class, something like that. And I think, let me see, what is this person saying? How to fix? Not really. I've forgotten how to delete, to find them. But at least the success ones, I know I can just click add on here. Now let me go to posts to be simpler. I can click add over here, and if I say something, some post, good post, then click publish, will I see publish? Oops, this is a different one than the usual, but I was expecting to see the error here, the success message here. Maybe I should go to plugins and deactivate this one. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So now if I can copy this, okay, I can inspect and then look for, I can inspect and look for the what? For the class. Like now you can see this updated notes is dismissible. To be able to click this X over here, I think this is covering it. To be able to click this X here, so I'll just copy this, copy that, go to our code. Where is the success message? The success message which says this is saved successfully. I'll just paste what I copied here. Just copy, I'll just do that, and then I will save. Then we can see something. Okay, I'll save, then we can see something which is I'll go back to admin notes, and now I can add, this is the third note, and then save. You see that it has added something. Of course, the reason it has done this is because ours is in a paragraph, but I believe the one for WordPress was in a div or something like that. Ours here is in a paragraph, so I believe it should be in the div, and again it should be in a parent, which is let me add here a parent div which has class equals wrap. So the parent div should be closed at the very end of the function. Yes, at the very end, like here. Let me see, this and this closes this. So this is the function closing block. Okay, so the end the one ending the div is here, then I end the PHP here. Okay, so I'll save, and you can see if there's some change. I'll click here. Oh, unexpected token. Where? On which line? On line 86. Line 86, unexpected token. Why? Yet we have, I believe it should be closing out to this one. Then this closes that. Then this closes the entire function. Probably oh, yeah, this is where the mistake is. This is supposed to be up here, I believe. Okay, let me save and we try again. Sorry, you are not allowed. Okay, let's see how is this hook wrap. Now it says if cannot manage. Why does it tell me I'm not allowed to access this page? Why? Okay, I'll go back and reload. Yeah, I see. So somewhere I have not put the PHP tags properly. Somewhere I've not put the PHP, I've not organized PHP properly. So okay, I'll consider that this is close by this is close by this, and then the if, the one for submission is over, okay, then there is an else, okay, then after the else there is this that closes the else, okay, that's good, and this that closes this, okay, then yeah, the problems start from around here. Okay, let's see how, because I can see that this PHP, okay, if yeah, here I made a mistake here. I closed the PHP, yet there was some PHP code on line 89. Alright, great that we found it, and this should now, we should have our plugin work again. I'll reload unexpected token on 46. Yeah, says unexpected token, but I understand that, okay, okay. Yeah, this is when something small can uh, can prevent your shipment. You may not deploy just because of something small, but I believe that the way I see my things, everything looks pretty okay, but I just don't know where I have an error. I failed to find why it's saying that there's an unexpected token. Oh, now it's okay. Alright, so I'll click admin notes again, and I'll enter the fourth note, and then save. Yes, you can see our success message is better than it was. Simply because we've utilized some classes from WordPress. Okay, so like for example, I can uh, I can just search this in Google. I think I can see the related notes and be able to work with it, to use them. I'll try here WP updated notes, says error class. Yeah, so if I want, okay, let me see here if we have something. You see there is notes error, there is warning, success, notes info, dismissible. So if I want success, here it is, and if I want, and you can even use things like this, and if I want okay, so good, so I can copy this and put it in appropriate places. For example, for the sorry, I can just write a class equals and paste, then this should be notes error. Okay, just like that. Now I can copy it entirely and take it in other places, like like, where, like notes. This is, I think, I think this is warning. Yeah. So to test out the notes error, we are going to test out when we are not. How can we test it out? I can't think of how to test it out, because I thought we would test it out without really saving something, but of course I was going to test it out without really saving anything, but I see it's impossible because this function will still save. So I'll leave it at that for now, and we can call it the end of the session for creating a WordPress plugin from scratch. And this has been a long one, but before we go, let me show you one thing, which is how would you distribute this to other people. All you do is right click and download your thing. If you're on your computer, you can zip it. So I think I can, if I click download, I don't know if Mr. WP will allow me to download it. Yeah, looks like. So I'll save it in downloads, and oh, but it's 0 bytes. So I think that's an error. So basically what you have to do is if you've developed it from your computer, you can zip it and download the zip, then you give it to other people. Yeah, that's it. So with InstaWP, I don't know. This is something that I should ask about to know if I can be able to zip and download. Yeah, basically that's it. Thank you for watching. Kindly subscribe if you are new to this channel, and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever I'm publishing new content like this. See you in the next.